T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Coach on Fire Radio.
I am the Welcome, welcome, welcome to the next installment, if you will, of The Joy Show. Anybody who's been along with us for the ride knows that joy stands for just own you. And that's what we do here at The Joy Show. We own who we are, we accept it, we take responsibility, and then we go out and we create a life worth living. So I am Rolla Joy, your host, and I am a transformational life coach, a mother of Lord knows how many, and a business person, a small business person who's really super curious about how people relinquish their stranglehold on their comfort zone and leap into their best life. What is it, the thing? What was that moment when somebody chose to let go of what they knew for sure and grab the golden ring? And to that today, we are going to have an amazing guest, a close friend of mine, Miss Kristen Judd, who has a degree in accounting and finance from Fort Lewis College, and she's returned back to the financial services after spending time in corporate America and owning a couple of businesses. She can relate to just about everyone's situation because she's experienced them all. One of the biggest reasons why she came back to financial services was finding a company that focuses on the education of money for individuals, families, and business owners. She's super passionate about what she does and enjoys giving people the opportunity to leave their financial strife behind and move forward with a plan they can believe in and can grow with. She's dynamic and sought after speaker for educational workshops and seminars, and she has found her home and loves being blah 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 and being able to be of service, whether it's for her clients, her fellow agents, or any of her team members. She's also, and this is my personal favorite part, the host of Wine, Women, and Wealth in the Westminster, Colorado area, and has been giving back to that community through amazing networking events for 3 years now. And most recently, she's published her first book, Own Your Future. And it's an actual step-by-step book that outlines the process that she used to catapult her business and her career with Five Rings Financial. It teaches you how to trick your brain into achieving crazy big goals with ease and joy. And Kristen is awesome, and we're going to talk to her now. Hi, Kristen. How are you?
I'm excited. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry that I stumbled there. That was fun. Anyway, so
Words are hard. I don't know.
sometimes they all want to come out of my mouth at the same time. And that goes really well. Some days it does, some days it doesn't. But here we are. And you probably know this about me. I'm a fly by the seat of your pants kind of gal for the most part. I like to see how things come out naturally and not put, it's not that I don't plan, it's just that I don't have like super strong, oh my gosh, it has to be like this sort of planning. And to that, what I really love is the fluidness of this show and the fact that Joy is an acronym for Just Own You, and you are certainly one of those people I know that's owned who they are and had to work their way through, ups and downs, etc., and really went out there and did it. So the one question that's scripted of the whole show, give me the who, what, when, where, why, and how of your motivation and that moment when you let go of the comfort zone and leapt into the unknown because you were going after a life by design.
Absolutely. So, oddly enough, we actually just shared our complete and total ugly growth story to 500 people this last weekend. Super scary because we've held it to ourselves for so long because we were riddled with shame and guilt and embarrassment and that whole massive fear of being judged. And it really kind of stemmed back probably in 2009 when we were just kind of getting started. But we were talking to a friend of ours at church, and he just flat out told us, he's like, He's a small businessman here locally, and we just adore him and think the world of him. But he actually said, he goes, I will never hire anyone who's ever been on unemployment. And we were like, wow, that kind of sucks, because I think at the time we were actually collecting unemployment. And so we were like, then and there we decided we would never share our story. We've never shared our story with our kids or friends or family. Nobody knew until really this weekend. And so, the crux of it is that, here's the reality, Rala, is that we all get to go through something. Like, I don't think there's anybody in the planet that doesn't get to experience life some way, somehow. And maybe it's because because I truly, honestly believe that we were all built for greatness. And sometimes we get caught up in life. Like, okay, got married, oh, now I'm having babies. And so you just kind of get stuck in a routine of getting up, making sandwiches, sending kids to school, going to your job, paying bills, and doing it all over again. And some of us, because we were built for greatness, get slapped in the face because, God, the universe, whoever, is saying, hey, nope, that's not what I had planned for you, and I need you to pay attention. And so ours really kind of happens right around 2009, when we had been kind of going through just life, right? Like, just having good businesses, everything was great, everything was really just going pretty well, until 2009, when my husband lost his job for the second time, and our business was starting to fail. We had a bail bonding business, and legislation made it so that we couldn't sell our business anymore, because we were looking to sell. We had an offer on the table, and overnight our phone stopped ringing. So we had the loss of a job, we had a severance package, we lost the sale of our business, and then we had the major creditors. So we had $40,000 in advertising debts. We had another $20,000 in business debt, and we had a marketing business going at the time that we're starting to transition to. And one of the clients that we were working with decided to stiff Ed on $40,000 worth of commissions. So, like, all of this, we call it our perfect storm, was happening all at the same time, and we were just really looking to get out of the quicksand, because that's what it felt like. It just felt like no matter what we tried to do, it just pulled us deeper and deeper, and we were getting to the point where we were ready to suffocate. We had to get help with food assistance, so that was super sucky. Not an enjoyable place to be at all. And we were doing this all by ourselves, because we decided we couldn't tell anybody. And so then we had to make a decision, because we were in full on survival mode, and we had to file for bankruptcy, because we needed to get rid of all those creditors. We had to make them go away, because there was just nothing left. And so, that was the fire that we had to walk through, to kind of build us up, break us down, build us up.
Right. So I had 1,010 questions as you said that. So how does it feel to be free of the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, and the fear of judgment? I mean, it's out there now, so.
So you never know how people are going to react, but the response that we got from sharing that,
Yeah.
Yeah, we had, because it's not like we are the only ones that this ever happened to. And the amount of people that came up to us and was like, oh my God, thank you so much for sharing. I'm going through the same thing, or I've done that too, and I'm rebuilding. And it was just, it gave them hope too. And to be completely naked and transparent, and to show them, yep, that time period, it felt like forever. But in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of life, it was just a blip,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And we got through it. We survived. It wasn't terminal. It didn't kill us. It actually set us up for really major, amazing success. And so, we were able to, get a clean slate, kind of rebuild our life, kind of reset and be a little bit more mindful of, don't just be going through life. Like, that's not what we're supposed to do.
Right.
and that's kind of what happened to us. We had a small scare again a couple of years later, where the bank wanted to take our. I was we just kind of got to that point where we were starting to rebuild and everything, but we weren't really being super mindful of our finances. And so that whole adage of, if you don't pay attention to your money will go somewhere else, and find someone who will pay attention to it, absolutely is the truth. And so wasn't being super mindful because it was still very, very scary. It was still that very much that I don't want to look because I'm afraid.
So it wasn't just like out there just overspending. It was more of a blinders were on sort of moment where we're paying the bills and we're just not going to look at what else is out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally doing the blinder thing. Wasn't overspending anything. Like, we aren't that couple that goes out to eat. We maybe go out to eat maybe once or twice a month. Even to this day. And so we're just, we learned, we're like, we're not overspending. We're not, but obviously we have to rebuild credit and all that kind of stuff. So we're just super, super mindful of that, but still there was a lot of hesitation about the checking account. I know it's there. I just pay our bills and then I keep going. But anyways, had still wasn't really being very mindful of it. And so through a series of I don't even know how to explain it. But anyways, what ended up happening is that we were paying the house payment, but they were sending it back and we didn't know.
So
Weird. And then they call us like, hey, we'd like your house.
and you're like, wait a minute, I've been paying. I can prove it. And then you looked and you had all this money you didn't know you had?
Yep. But it wasn't quite enough to get us caught up. And so we I was like, well, we want to move out of this house anyways, and the market's great, so let's just sell. And so we walked away. We were able to walk away with some good equity and all that kind of stuff, and just honestly just breathe.
Interesting. So I had an experience as you were first speaking when we first got started about the feeling that came over me as you were speaking about your experience created great compassion. And I know this to be true of you because I've been at Wine Women and Wealth a lot. And if anybody is local and hearing us, Wine Women and Wealth, Westminster, Colorado, it's a wonderful women's networking event that Kristen runs, and it's amazing and fantastic. When you go to a Wine Women and Wealth event, there is great compassion for the women in the room who maybe aren't as savvy or haven't had the opportunity yet to learn things. And you are very compassionate. So would you say that the experiences that you had and that you and your husband went through created a stronger sense of compassion for people who don't have what you have?
Absolutely. Because, sometimes, debt happens to good people, or sometimes, life just happens. And it wasn't because anybody made necessarily a bad decision. They made a decision based on the information that they had, which in some cases is not a lot. And so it's not, hindsight is always 2020. We can always beat ourselves up over that, but it is what it is. And the only thing that you can do going forward is, kind of accept it, own it, and get the education so that it doesn't happen again. We have to be able to be in that space where we learn from our mistakes, not for them to happen over and over again. That's why we go to history class.